Hey, so my keyboard showed up finally. Now, all of them are here. I think this one was missing. So when I wanted the effects, I would never be able to do that unless I had it fixed. So he also replaced this one because he said it was kind of stiff, and then yeah. So it's all good to go. It's all ready to go. Now, what I was really excited about telling you was that I've never been able to make any keyboard work with the computer, and there's a lot of history as far as this growing my brain of mine to trying to get it to work with the computer. Now, I just thought I guess I need to put in a USB cord and put it into the computer and then download a codec or updates or firmware, and then you got to open up Pro Tools or whatever DAW that you want to use, and then you got to do the search and try to find it. Well, nothing fucking worked. Well, years go by, and I honestly have literally this entire, cubbyhole thing, just because I never got it to work, and then there was something about microphones, and then speakers, and recording devices, and layering, just because I couldn't get my fucking keyboard to work. And my other keyboards know all about that. These are my DVDs. And I also have this. Boom. Ta-da. It's like tons and tons and tons. Yeah, so that's that. Alright. Anyways. So I essentially was this big crash and burn when it comes to making this play on here. I mean, record on here. It was this huge, massive, like, the dream of dreams. Get this keyboard to record on a computer. And then I even had like a Pro Tools subscription. It was $50 a month. And it was terrible. Pro Tools, too complicated. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. Even if it did work, I hated it. Well, in the midst of getting more money, I did all my research. I picked out another keyboard, and then I did some really extensive, like, thought processing, and I guess I just typed in the right thing on Google, and then it led to her. I know I've told you somewhat of this story, but this thing is the code breaker right here. This thing will put any keyboard on here. There's a few, things that you got to learn, and then there's been all these learning curves, and I had to call a bunch of people, and basically all this shit matters, and pressing this and pressing that and choosing different fucking things. You see why it gets so confusing. And then there's all these little tiny buttons, and what do they mean, and don't ever press this and don't ever press that, all kinds of fucking shit. And I wouldn't wish it on anybody, but there's smart people out there, and I knew I needed to put my arm over their shoulders and say, hey, so can you let me cheat off of your homework paper, please? And all that shit. So here we are. I have DaVinci Resolve open. It's a DAW. It's in the world of recording music on your computer. It's referred to simply as a DAW, a DAW, a DAW, a DAW, a DAW. You'll hear it 1,000 times. What DAW are you using? Pro Tools, Cubase, which one? Well, ironically, I found that there is a DAW inside DaVinci Resolve. I told you that already. Also, there's all these other editing tools. Well, this is the musical editing section of DaVinci Resolve, which is also a DAW. It's called Fairlight. Now, with that said, I had to go through some hoops. I had to get this thing hooked up. It's hooked up, and then so I knew it was hooked up because I tested it. And then I needed DaVinci Resolve to respect it and see it. And then I needed DaVinci Resolve to record it. So, biggity bam, this is connected to that, which in turn is connected to this. And it's even got this already connected. I got this working. I knew this worked. I had never officially figured out the keyboard. And I never even got this figured out to the computer because I didn't try. But I got this figured out too. This can record on here also. And so, you got a situation where, you basically gotta arm the track, and then you gotta go up here and press record. Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3, 4. Go to stop, and then you replay it. Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. So what happens then is you right click here, you go add track, stereo, and it makes a new one right below it. Now you make sure you turn off that, and then you arm this, which it's not working because you have to go over to where you just made it in this 2 slot, and then you have to say yes, please work. And then you have to do that, and then you have to do that, and then you have to exit out, and then you now can press the arm button, boom, and you now can press record, boom. Testing, testing. Now, this was playing because it is supposed to, unless I press the mute button. Now I press the mute button, and yeah. So you got now 2 different tracks all in the same one. Play them at the same time. Take the arming off, and you press play. Testing, testing. Yeah, so you want to do another track, you go add track, stereo. You then have a third one, and you gotta, let's see, A3 arm bus, settings, input. All right, so I hadn't done 3 tracks quite yet, and it wasn't here, except this was here. I was like, what the fuck are you doing here? And then I realized I needed to scroll over, like so. And then I need a new input, like so. And then I need to do this. And then I just do that. But here's the cool thing. You can just record forever. Yeah, forever. So, you're on the third one, you go to the beginning. So essentially, mute these. Now the cool thing is none of these bleed on each other. So like I can technically talk to you right now and just play something, But like, so now that it's here, you can arm it because we fixed it yonder. And then you press record. Okay, so, but what I wanted to tell you though was this will allow you to, what the fuck, hold on, go over. Okay, well, I don't know why this screen's doing that. Like so. Anyways, but you can now unmute these and then play. Testing, testing. Now I still got to learn how to do all the volume on these, and I think I saw a video on it somewhere, but I mean it has an inspector, so obviously you just click on which one you want to fuck with, and then you go up here to the inspector, and then there's volume control right here, so I guess that's how you would do it. There's also the cool thing that I was telling you before, and then to get out of here you got to go to like meters or mixers or meters, mixers. Okay, get out of there. All right, so, and now everything is looking different because I'm still figuring it all out. But Essentially, though, what I was going to tell you was there's no end. You can just record. Like, watch. You can just, like I told you before, you can just record all of it. La 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 la. Yeah, I can just sit and fuck around on this for hours. And like I told you about the notebook. And then when it's done, you just retouch everything. You just drag things around. Now, when you want to drag things around, now all of that, are we in the edit tab? So, Fairlight, So, like, let's see, where's our media pool? So if we, I think if we wanted to, no, that didn't work. But, that's why. So we got to drag this to the beginning. So, and then we got to move this, and then there's the third one, and then you got to move that, and then you can see all of them. So if we wanted to, for instance, I could splice this, like this big part right here, and like drag it up here, and it'll go in here, and it's down now as that one that's highlighted. See? And I'm not even pressing any of the fucking these. I'm just rolling my mouse over it. And that's what DaVinci Resolve does. That's how they roll. Honestly, you should see what they do with graphics, but I think you did already. But anyways, what you can do is save it there forever, and you can title it, so you never lose it. And you can also just come over here and, like, you got to drag this thing over here though. But you can say like copy, and then you can say like paste, and like boom, there it is. So that's how the concept of looping and making a song goes. Now you can always go back to this page, and there it is again. That's why it looks like that. Now, so that's putting it in perspective. They're all unilateral, or I don't know if that makes sense. They all work together with each other. So that's showing you the cool shit. And then, what else was I going to show you? So you saw that it's controlling, it can record this and this without me even switching anything on here. And when I want, and that's why I got microphones that have a switch, so that I never even have to worry about it. So it's not even on my mind. And if my neighbors are going to wake up, then both of these are for headphones, and I can switch everything to listening to it through my headphones, whichever ones I want. So yeah, and then that's I think everything. I just wanted to sort of tell you that everything is hooked up, everything is on my computer, and it's a miracle. I can't believe it. It is something that has ridiculous amounts of time going in all the wrong directions, including this, which I love anyways because it's so adorable. Hello. All right, well, it was nice chatting. Talk to you later.